A tragic situation at a home in Roy. A 2-year-old boy found dead and his twin sister severely injured. We share more about the man arrested and what we know so far.
The Bureau of Land Management has closed more than 300 miles of trails in Moab. Why recreators are fighting to keep them open.
And we have the latest forecast numbers for the storm pushing through California on its way towards the state. When does it hit? And again, how much snow will fall? I'll let you know.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Evans. We begin Fox 13 News at 9 with breaking news of a tragic situation that unfolded this evening in Roy. A toddler is dead and another has serious injuries, and a relative is behind bars for alleged murder and child abuse. Fox 13 News reporter Maithili Gubi joins us live from Roy with what we know so far. Maithili.
Bob, I'm at the Roy Police Station and we're still learning more about what exactly happened. Roy Police tell us that a man who was related to the 2-year-old twins but not their father was arrested. Now this was after the little boy was found with visible injuries, taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. His twin sister is also severely injured and there were more kids inside the home. This happened in the area of 1950 West and 4450 South in Roy. Officers responded this morning and transported the twins to the hospital. The suspect, Jonathan Dunn, had custody of the kids at his house at the time. He was arrested on 2 counts of aggravated sexual abuse, 2 counts of aggravated child abuse, and 1 count of aggravated murder. We looked up Dunn's history and found that he pleaded guilty to 1 count of child abuse in 2016 after inflicting serious physical injury intentionally in Cache County. Police tell us they believe that in Roy, there were about 9 kids in the home in total. Now, we still don't know if any of the other 7 kids were either abused or hurt, but police say it's an open investigation. They're working with DCFS to see what exactly happened and to make sure that all the kids are safe. We'll keep you updated with this developing story as we learn more on air on Fox 13 and online at fox13now.com. Live in Roy, I am Maithili Gubi, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Maithili, thank you. Now to our other top story. There are new details in a triple murder in northern Utah. Police have identified the victims and the suspect who is believed to have kidnapped, killed, and buried them. Fox 13 News reporter Lucy Nelson was at the Mercer Cemetery in Tooele County today. She has the latest on this developing story.
West Valley police say cadaver dogs were training near Mercure Trailhead in April of this year when they discovered 3 bodies and 2 bullets buried there. They were identified as 3 people who had gone missing in March of 2022. Those 3 people are 29-year-old Rocio Banuelos Bustamante, Carlos Sepulveda Montes, and 35-year-old Zamir Sanchez Hernandez. The man who police believe killed the 3 victims is 26-year-old Cesar Matias Sevilla Aleman, who was arrested in September 2022 for a non-fatal shooting at a large unofficial rodeo party near Lincoln Beach. In searching his phone, police say his location overlapped with one of the missing victims, and data showed that he was likely in the Rush Valley area, about 12 miles south of Tooele. Police say they were later informed by a witness that Sevilla Aleman was talking about how one of the victims, Sepulveda Montes, owed him money around the time he and the other victims went missing. Sevilla Aleman has not been charged with these 3 homicides at this time, but charges are expected to be screened this week. I reached out to West Valley Police, who referred me to the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office. Now, a spokesperson with the office tells me they don't comment on cases they are actively engaged in screening. In Tooele County, Lucy Nelson, Fox 13 News, Utah.
As we see cases like this evolve, we think of the families affected. Today, Fox 13 News reached out to Utah Homicide Survivors, a nonprofit organization that mostly handles the legal services for the families of murder victims. Through a network of service providers, their mission is to help navigate the aftermath of such a traumatic event.
And so having that support system there really helps these families heal quicker, or at least in a way that they know that there's somebody there that understands what they're going through, because healing isn't linear. It just goes all sorts of different directions, and some days are better than others.
Utah homicide survivors started in April of 2019 after founder Brandon Merrill saw a gap in services for families of homicide victims. You can reach them through their website, utahhomicidesurvivors.org, or you can call them at 801-500-9077. Fox 13 News will continue to cover the ongoing investigation on air and online at fox13now.com. An Idaho judge has ruled that the remains of Tylee Ryan can be released to her family 4 years after her murder. She and her brother J.J. Vallow disappeared in September of 2019. J.J.'s remains were returned to his family 2 months ago. Their mother, Lori Vallow-Daybell, was convicted of their murder earlier this year. Their bodies were found in Lori's husband Chad Daybell's backyard in June of 2020. His murder trial begins in April of next year. Take a look at this video. A large explosion at a Salt Lake Community College substation in Taylorsville. There you see it just beyond the bridge there. Happened this afternoon at 2200 West, 4700 South. Fox 13 News viewer John Collins says his dash camera camera captured the explosion at about 3:15. You can see that large plume of smoke on your screen. Taylorsville police are now investigating. An aircraft engine caught fire mid-air as it was approaching Spanish Fork Airport just before 5 this afternoon. City officials say smoke filled the cabin, but the pilot was able to make a successful landing. Both people in the plane got out safely. Once on the ground, the plane became fully engulfed. It took Spanish Fork fire crews 25 minutes to put it out. Tonight, the Salt Lake Valley Coalition to End Homelessness hosted the annual Homeless Persons Memorial Vigil in Salt Lake's Pioneer Park. Those who gathered remembered the Utahns who've died while having no place to live over the past year. Homeless advocate Pamela Atkinson and Wayne Niederhauser, as well as those who used to live on the street, were there.
I myself have aged out of the foster care system and experienced homelessness and was able to share my story this evening to hopefully bring that recognition that we need more support, we need more funding, we need more people to support those of us experiencing homelessness to no longer be out in this cold and that we no longer have to suffer.
The vigil happens every year on December 21st, the longest night of the year. Members of the Other Side Academy Choir sang at tonight's vigil.
We had some musical numbers. We had taps played for those that were veterans that passed away. We do our best to honor everyone and their stories. And then, of course, we read the names of 79 individuals here tonight that passed away experiencing homelessness in the last year in Salt Lake City, well, in Salt Lake County.
Tonight, Governor Spencer Cox issued a proclamation marking this Homeless Persons Memorial Day in Utah. He has proposed a significant boost in funding for services to get people off the street and more money for affordable housing so people don't become homeless in the first place. He's also proposed more money for behavioral health services. All of that will be considered when the legislature meets in a few weeks. Utah's off-road community is fighting for access to public lands after the Bureau of Land Management recently closed more than 300 miles of trails near Moab. Fox 13 News reporter Jenna Bree takes us there to show us why this land is so special to the people who use it.
It's not just about getting out and seeing the stuff. It's about the challenge of getting the vehicle there as well, that I personally and our family has built our legacy on.
Richard Mick grew up in Moab, rock crawling up and down the treacherous Hey Joe Canyon to see the old uranium mine in his dad's Jeep.
There's a lot of really cool equipment, old mine carts and old bulldozers and stuff like that I used to play on all the time as a kid. My family would come out here for a nice picnic and you could just imagine little Richard just bouncing around all the old mining equipment, and it was so cool.
But today, the Hey Joe Canyon Trail ends abruptly with a big gate and barbed wire fencing. It's one of the many trails in the Labyrinth Rims Gemini Bridges area that are now closed as part of the BLM's new travel management plan.
I guess I'm as proud of American as most Americans are, and I regard this land as my land.
The Utah Public Lands Alliance is supporting a lawsuit challenging the agency to keep these trails open.
It's stuff that you can't see on a TV screen or a computer or on a tablet. There's nothing like being out here and seeing what's actually here.
Amid the ongoing litigation, the trails will remain closed. The BLM is in the process of putting up more signs so people know where they can and can't go.
We did close 317 miles of routes in this area, but we still have 3,600 miles open to off-highway travel.
Moab Field Manager David Powell says this plan was born out of the demand to protect wildlife and natural resources and improve public safety.
We apparently at the time did not look at the resource concerns, and so we were looking at each route in depth.
Labyrinth Rims Gemini Bridges serves multiple uses: cattle grazing, dispersed camping, oil and gas pipelines, and of course, recreation.
As recreation increases, this area sees about 3 million visitors per year. The area of wildlife habitat has been decreasing.
But Kevin Keller says closures aren't the answer when there are opportunities to educate the public on recreating responsibly on some of the best off-roading in the country.
We have to be able to have access to our land. It's our land.
In Moab, Jenna Bree, Fox 13 News, Utah.
I tell you what, down in Moab, they're always warmer than we are here, but they deal with their own form of winter.
They definitely do. And sometimes they have a pretty strong inversion that can trap in some cold air, which has not been the case. It's actually been a great day to be in southern Utah and pretty much anywhere in the state. Temperatures throughout the day, in the afternoon, well above average. We still had to contend with a little bit of haze here across the Salt Lake Valley, where as we take a look at our air view powered by TELUS, looking right now where Davis County, some changes see over the past 3 hours, where there's still plenty of green as you move further northward south of Layton, though, as you're tracking through the south end of Davis County, we're kind of in that moderate concern level. We're still here across the Salt Lake Valley, the worst here throughout the Wasatch Front, even though we are seeing some improvements, particularly as you move up in elevation near some of the benches. Still looking good, though, in Utah County. So we really only have to contend with this haze for one more day because, yeah, we're going to be talking about this weekend storm. But take a look at these high temperatures here throughout the state. Looking at Moab, I mentioned sometimes you can trap in that cold air. It's actually 47 degrees, where in Salt Lake City, it was warmer than Moab at 54, upper 60s for highs today in St. George, where right now we stand at 38 degrees in Salt Lake City, 40 degrees in Ogden, upper 20s in Park City, turning towards northeastern Utah. Temperatures in the 20s in Vernal, but right now Moab, you're at 39 degrees, where some clouds moving in from the south. No activity as far as precipitation is concerned. These clouds pushing through, where this is what we're going to be looking at with this storm, as it is producing rain in California and making its move towards the state. When does it arrive and what will it bring for this weekend in preparation for Christmas? We'll answer that coming up in just a bit.
We do peanuts in dark chocolate and milk chocolate. We do almonds in dark chocolate.
Yeah, they are making candy 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. But at Sweets Candy Company in Salt Lake, that's normal. We'll have more after the break.
The Utah Jazz continue their road trip tonight in Detroit. Can they extend the Pistons' losing streak to 25 games? We'll have the highlights coming up.
Well, the holidays and comfort food go hand in hand, and premier among comfort foods in Utah is Sweets Candy Company, in business since 1892. And during the holidays, it's all hands on deck.
You know, there's nothing wrong with peanuts and dark chocolate. And that's all it is. Couldn't be more simple. We're running the real jewel piece.
Rick Kay is president of Sweets Candy Company.
We do peanuts in dark chocolate and milk chocolate. We do almonds in dark chocolate.
You'd think the holidays would be the big rush time for candy makers.
We don't have a seasonal spike. We're busy year-round.
How much candy do you run through this factory every week?
Our goal for this year is going to be pushing 1 million pounds a week.
1 million pounds of candy a week?
Yes, sir.
Holy cow. Sweets has 240 candy makers who work 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. They make candy for a national clientele, but concentrate heavily on their loyal grocery and retail partners in Utah, particularly along the Wasatch Front.
Add the water, add the sugar, hydrate the sugar, add the syrup, the other ingredients.
Sweets has a European-designed candy kitchen, state-of-the-art. They say the Europeans know how to make candy.
Now, who comes up with the recipes? I would imagine there are candy engineers or something like that.
Food technologists, food scientists, and we have 5 on staff. They're a brilliant team. They have degrees in food science, and they spend a good deal of their time on research and development of new products.
How much sugar do you guys need for a 1 day's operation?
We'll go through somewhere close to 125,000 pounds a day on a full day.
125,000 pounds?
Somewhere around 100,000 pounds a day.
That's crazy. What does that look like? I mean, if you were to pile it all up, what would it look like? How tall would the pile be?
It's a lot of truckloads.
Have you ever run out of sugar?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We get busy.
So did you ever have to shut down?
No. We try and have safety stocks on hand, and we have some third-party warehouses that have some materials in it.
Sweets has been making candy for more than 130 years, and Rick is doing more than just running a company.
I think it's in our blood. We're a 5th-generation family business. We take a lot of pride in being part of people's family traditions, the holiday tradition.
Sure.
You know, a Christmas stocking without a box of orange sticks.
It's just not Christmas.
Can't happen. Just can't happen.
Now, despite this being a very busy time of year, being a family business, Sweets is mindful of their employees and their families, which is why all of next week, everyone takes the week between Christmas and New Year's off. But they'll be back at it again, making candy and filling orders starting January 2nd. I tell you what, that was a real 125,000 pounds of sugar every day.
Oh my goodness.
1 million pounds of candy a week.
Wow. And I've had my fair share of samples here throughout the years.
Yeah, they sent some back to the station with me, and I tell you what, it really is good. I mean, not to disparage any other candy company, but that's good stuff.
Did you share that with everyone?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I don't know where you were.
I missed out on that opportunity. All right, we're trying not to miss out on the opportunity of seeing a white Christmas, but we've been talking about this storm throughout the week, each and every day. It kind of has been changing as far as when it would hit, how much snow it would bring, but we're seeing the impacts of the storm not here across the state, but we have to turn towards California as I show you a traffic camera. This is Buena Park there along I-5, seeing the rain falling as it's been a situation, an issue here through portions of California where we've even been seeing some flooding. This storm on its way, where we're seeing the warm before the storm and where we've been breaking free each and every day from that valley inversion. Temperatures have been rising once again, getting up into the mid-50s today. Official high in Salt Lake City, 54 degrees on average. We should be in the upper 30s. Now, we still had some haze in place, particularly across the Salt Lake Valley. Haze hanging around for one more day. Then we start to see some improvements. Hey, winter solstice, of course, today, December 21st, it hit officially at 7:27, so we can say we're in winter. But it doesn't feel like we're in winter mode as of yet. We've got to bring these storms, and we're hopeful about this storm. It is going to bring some snow, but it's not looking like it's going to bring a lot here, especially across northern Utah. St. George right now, you're at 57 degrees. Clouds have been moving in, pushing further northward right now here as we look along the Wasatch Front. We're in the upper 30s, even low 40s, currently 38 degrees in Provo. Okay, with this storm, if we knew it was kind of an impressive storm or a robust storm, we'd see a lot more watches and warnings from it. We don't. No winter weather advisories in place here across northern Utah, central Utah. There is one spot, though, southeastern Utah, where we are seeing, let me show you there. There we go. At least as we go in some of the mountains of southeastern Utah, this will be in effect until 5 a.m. on Sunday. We're kind of looking at maybe upwards of a 3 to a 6 inch range there. But what about here across northern Utah? We start to see some showers early Saturday morning for the mountains of northern Utah, but not much. It looks like we're going to maybe see upwards of 2, maybe 3 inches. Could squeeze out a little bit more. Not a big snow producer, especially for the valleys. It's definitely going to be less than an inch for most spots, so just maybe a skiff or a trace. sticking on the grassy surfaces, hopefully sticking around as we lead into Christmas Day. But there's definitely going to be a break before Christmas Day that the snow will be sitting there and has the possibility of melting just a bit. But there's the storm, as mentioned, is producing those showers across Southern California. Let's go through the timing of this because we will have some impacts for traveling, especially tomorrow through Saturday, where the storm coming in from the south initially, as we're going to see some wet roads. Let's talk about the timing of that, where we move the clock through Friday morning, not seeing it yet. Friday, though, once we get about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're starting to see more moderate rainfall there from St. George, Kanab, impacting Page. Mountain snow moving further northward, so some wet roads along I-15 as you make your move from Cedar City all the way through Fillmore. But then the focus turns, of course, southeastern Utah throughout the afternoon into Saturday evening, where we're going to be, or excuse me, from tomorrow evening through Saturday early morning. Now, cold front tracking in from the northwest. This is bringing the colder air. You see that line of a front early Saturday morning, so it's going to push through, seeing some brief rain and then rain changing into snow as we head into the morning hours on Saturday. So this storm coming in a little bit earlier and it's pushing away a lot quicker. So as we're going to be looking at that storm moving off, we'll see more of a northerly flow heading into Saturday evening. This could produce a little bit of lake effect snow here and some mountain showers lingering on as we go into Sunday morning. As we hit Sunday morning, though, we're talking Christmas Eve day. By mid-morning, this storm is out of here, as it will be a break Sunday afternoon into Christmas Day. So traveling concerns will be tomorrow afternoon heading into Saturday morning. That's the time frame. If you can avoid, I definitely would do so. Highs tomorrow above average still, maybe a little bit cooler. We'll have those showers in St. George as we go into Saturday as well, and then you're clearing off nicely for Christmas Eve with sunny skies for Christmas Day with highs in the 50s. Northern Utah, we've got the kind of mixture of rain and snow Saturday morning, but it's quick rain changing over to snow. Lingering light snow showers early Sunday morning, and then it's out of here. Partly cloudy skies for Christmas Day. 30s, we're going to be looking at least breaking free from the haze for a couple of days. But again, this storm not bringing a lot of snow. We'll be back right after the break.
Right now, Riverdale police are asking for your help in finding 84-year-old David Kent Gailey. He was last seen at 1170 West Ritter Drive wearing a green striped polo shirt and black Levi's or tan slacks. He has Alzheimer's disease and diabetes and needs oxygen and medication. His destination was unknown, but keep a lookout for a brown Toyota RAV4 with a Utah license plate ZL06J. If you have seen him or know where he is, call the Weber County Sheriff's Office at 801-395-8221. We have learned a Utah man drowned in Hawaii last month. Police say it happened November 22nd. 66-year-old Michael Green of South Sandy was with a guided diving tour group off the Kailua Pier at Kailakona, in Kailakona, I should say, when he became unresponsive. Green was taken to a hospital where he died. No foul play is suspected. A former parole officer in Moab has been charged with stalking his former boss. The Utah Department of Corrections let Everett Gist Jr. go in December of 2020 for offensive Facebook posts. Court documents indicate since that time until March of this year, the head of corrections has received vengeful and threatening social media posts from Gist. Fox 13 News first reported on him in 2021 when his work with the Moab Police Department came to an end after he insulted the assistant chief while using his police radio to say he quit. The state of Utah is suing major drug manufacturers, accusing them of driving up the price of insulin. Why they say they need your help to make their case.
Sam Merrill had a breakout game against the Utah Jazz. We'll hear from the former Bountiful and Utah State star as he tries to break into the NBA.
We would like to hear the individual stories because it goes beyond just the individual price. It impacts decisions to pay rent sometimes or a mortgage payment, food for your kids.
State officials are asking for people with diabetes to contact them about the price of insulin. They're looking for witnesses in a lawsuit regarding price gouging. Fox 13 News political reporter Ben Winslow has more.
Utah's Division of Consumer Protection is asking diabetics in the state to contact them to potentially be witnesses or plaintiffs in the lawsuit.
For us to seek damages at all on behalf of the citizens of the state of Utah, we need people to complain.
The state of Utah is suing major drug manufacturers, accusing them of driving up the price of insulin.
In some cases, well over 1,000% of the manufacturing price.
The lawsuit is getting pushback from insulin manufacturers who claim they're already offering lower-priced options. Eli Lilly says the state's complaint is baseless and should be dismissed, insisting it's been working to provide affordable insulin against the headwinds of a healthcare system that incentivizes others, including the state of Utah, to choose higher list price medicines over lower-priced options. Novo Nordisk says it believes the allegations are without merit and intends to vigorously defend against these claims. But the state says in order to mount a case, they need people to share their stories.
Most people have been negatively affected by the price of insulin. They've done and engaged in behaviors like rationing or starvation to try to offset their insulin levels. They have shared with their friends or borrowed from friends who needed it, because oftentimes either they're uninsured or even people with insurance are affected when they need more than is prescribed.
The Utah Division of Consumer Protection has created a special website to collect people's stories. Now, in 2020, the Utah State Legislature created a special program to help people in need purchase insulin at a discounted rate.
When you're debating between a life-saving medication and paying the rent, those are or keeping the lights on at your home or the heat on in the winter, those are important things for us to understand.
On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Governor Cox's comments on diversity, equity, and inclusivity at Utah's colleges and universities are coming under fire by the Democratic Party. Yesterday, we shared the governor's comments opposing DEI statements at universities and vowing to ban them. Today, Utah Democrats reacted, saying there's nothing awful or evil about working towards equity and diversity in our schools. They say, contrary to the government's claims, DEI unites people and no one is forced into victimhood when we recognize diversity. The Utah Attorney General's office has filed misdemeanor charges against a man over signature gathering in the Republican primary for the 2nd Congressional District seat. The Lieutenant Governor's office brought the case. Tim Mooney is accused of paying 2 people money per signature for a candidate in the race, but the law says you can only pay them an hourly rate or based on valid signatures. Charging documents say as much as $58,000 was paid. Mooney has not returned a message seeking comment. Bruce Huff's campaign confirms to Fox 13 News that Mooney was working for them. They say they have a very good working relationship with him and are grateful for the work he did. Celeste Malloy ultimately won the election and is now representing Utah in Congress. The Utah Department of Natural Resources is asking a judge to throw out a lawsuit over the Great Salt Lake. A coalition of environmental groups is suing, accusing Utah's political leaders of not doing enough to save the lake. The suit asks a judge to force the state to curtail some people's water rights to protect the lake. In a new court filing, the state says it has taken steps to preserve and protect the Great Salt Lake, including suspending future water appropriations and dedicating water rights for the lake. In response, lawyers for the environmental groups tell Fox 13 News the state's efforts are unpersuasive given the situation facing the lake. The city of St. George wants a federal judge to dismiss a lawsuit over drag shows. In a new court filing, the city says it has modified its ordinances, making the lawsuit brought by the ACLU and Southern Utah Drag Stars moot. This started when the city rejected a permit application to hold a drag show at a public park. But the city was eventually forced to approve the permit after a federal judge ruled the city was violating the drag show's First Amendment rights. The show went on in June. The ACLU says it will oppose the motion to dismiss. Utah Tech University President Richard Biff Williams announced today he's going to step down. He says he wants to pursue other professional opportunities. Williams' career at Utah Tech began in 2014, the year following its designation as a university. As president, he has facilitated the addition of more than 200 academic programs, including the institution's first graduate degrees. He increased student enrollment by 42% and grew scholarship funding by 90%.
They'll only do so many people, so we race to get in and do the order.
Coming up, a story that is positively Utah, how the Kearns Coffee Cart delivers more than just a cup of joe. You know, it's not hard to love a warm drink on a cold winter morning, and teachers at one middle school would probably agree. Lucky for them, they have some young baristas who make and deliver special drinks at the end of every school week. Fox 13 News reporter Darian DeBrule has the story that is positively Utah.
When teachers and staff at Kearns Junior High need a morning pick-me-up,
hot chocolate with cream,
the Kearns Coffee Cart is ready to serve.
Yes, please.
Teachers rush to get their orders in. We cap it at 20, and then the students prep, make, deliver the coffee. We do hot coffee, iced coffee, an assortment of teas, and hot chocolate.
They'll only do so many people, so we race to get in.
The Coffee Cart's baristas are made up of students in Miss Ray's Essential Elements class.
You get a poster cart around the school, and you get to stop at each classroom.
Students are writing the teachers' names on the labels. Some kids are stamping our logo onto the coffee sleeves. Some kids are setting up the cart, making the coffee, practicing money skills.
And the days they wear their yellow aprons to serve drinks filled with fun-flavored syrups and topped with whipped cream are the best days ever.
It's the best tea ever. It's the best tea ever.
Thank you! Oh, for the students too, of course.
I like making coffee for the teachers.
The kids in Miss Ray's class have a wide range of abilities, but everyone plays a part in the coffee cart.
For our students that are non-speaking, we use what are called switches, or they look like buttons. We can record voices for them to press and say, you know, welcome to the KCC, or record a joke, and then they can use it to tell the joke.
Why didn't the donkey cross the road?
Why?
You saw what happened to the zebra?
Oh, that's a good joke!
The coffee cart is a way for the students to learn job skills within the walls of Kearns Junior High.
$1.
And also get a couple Miss Ray dollars to spend at their class store.
We have, what's it called?
Reward store.
We have Reward Store, and we are able to buy activities, time on iPad, snacks.
Miss Ray is so incredible. She loves the kids. She wants them to be successful. She teaches them how to work. She genuinely cares about them and wants them to find success.
It's really important to me that this school feels like these kids are people they can say hey to in the hallway.
After fulfilling every order, the students always end by saying,
"Thank you for supporting the KCC!"
At Kearns Junior High, Darian DeBrule, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, after the break, we're going to be talking about your weekend weather forecast, getting you ready for Christmas. But I want to share a photo coming up on our Facebook page. Brent Haddock capturing this Heber Valley, looking at Mount Timpanogos. We see the fog. We see the snow. We're going to get some fresh snow over the weekend. We'll tell you how much after the break.
Former BYU Cougar Puka Nacua had another big game for the Rams in the NFL tonight. And the Jazz tried to hand the Detroit Pistons their 25th loss in a row. Could they get it done? The highlights are on the way.
Moving closer towards Christmas, trying to see if this storm coming in through the weekend might carry over into Christmas as far as bringing us some snow. We mentioned with this storm, we know we'll see some snow, but yeah, it's coming in a little bit earlier. So the timing of it looks like a big focus here for Saturday. Right now, though, in Salt Lake City, breathing pretty good. We do have some moderate concern level with the air quality and some haze around, but visibility looks great. See the Christmas lights there in downtown Salt Lake City, where temperatures today getting up into the mid-50s. Right now, we're at 38 degrees. A few high clouds pushing their way through. As we're taking a look, moving ahead, what we're expecting, we do have the haze sticking around for one more day, but then the storm moving in as we go into Saturday morning. This is going to have some travel impacts across the state, where particularly towards southern Utah tomorrow afternoon into the evening, And then for northern Utah, it's really Saturday morning. So that time frame, you'll have to be mindful. If you can maybe hurry and get an earlier start tomorrow or wait until Saturday afternoon, then you'll be in a better situation traveling through the roads here across the state. Now, rain changing into snow here across northern Utah. You see how much snow we're talking about? Very little. Models showing for the models, it's a trace maybe to a half of an inch in some locations, and the models only picking up anywhere between 2 to 4 inches across northern Utah. As we look at satellite radar, though, we're seeing some clouds central and southern Utah coming in from the south. No activity from radar, so no precipitation, but we are seeing the precipitation where rain pushing through and producing some flooding in portions of Southern California. Been looking at some of the traffic cameras as we go from Los Angeles through San Diego. That's making its move where it's going to be moving to the south, allowing for a little bit of energy to eject, and then this cold front sweeping in, which with some lingering moisture is going to be allowing those snow levels to drop towards the valley floors as we go into Saturday morning. All right, let's take a look at the forecast amounts for snow amounts pushing from right now, which we won't see much activity again for Friday, but Saturday into Sunday. For Sunday evening, we can take a look here. Look at the color there, light blue. Puts us on a range of an inch or less, and really I'm talking less than an inch all across most of northern through central Utah. Southeastern Utah getting the brunt of this storm, where we do have winter weather advisories with a possibility of maybe seeing upwards of 6 inches for the mountains of southeastern Utah. But for everyone else, we're really missing out. And the snow comes in a little earlier, lingering snow showers maybe early Sunday morning, and then across northern Utah they're moving away. Now tomorrow, as we're getting ready for your morning commute, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be in the 30s, fairly mild. We'll have a little bit of haze, a little bit more cloud cover. We'll hold on to these mild temperatures for southern Utah. We do have a chance of those rain showers for the afternoon into the evening, carrying over into Saturday morning. We'll keep it in the 50s though throughout the weekend. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, mostly sunny skies, low 50s for highs, keeping it dry as temperatures will remain in the 50s, even mid to upper 50s towards Wednesday and Thursday. Now for northern Utah, partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Now the storm comes through early Saturday morning. We could initially see a little bit of rain, then rain turning over into snow Saturday morning, and then we continue to see lingering showers Saturday night. Maybe we can see a little bit of lake effect snow for the valleys as we go into early Sunday morning. Sunday morning, mid-morning, we really start pushing away the storm. Potentially could see some canyon travel issues, though, if you're needing to travel through the canyon Sunday morning. But then Sunday afternoon through Christmas Day, no issues on the road. And we push away the haze inversion. We'll get a break. We mix out the air, at least get a break for a couple of days, maybe see a little bit of haze Tuesday and Wednesday with a very weak storm on Thursday. We're really not moving towards a storm cycle, and this storm not producing much.
The Utah Jazz continued their 5-game road trip in Detroit in a game a lot of people were interested in. The Detroit Pistons went in with a 24-game losing streak, just 2 losses away from tying the NBA record. Jazz were without Lauri Markkanen, Jordan Clarkson, Taylor Horton-Tucker, and Keontae George. Colin Sexton did play, gets a nice two-handed throwdown. He had 19 points and 8 assists. Simone Fontecchio, 4 of 7 from long range. Knocks down the 3 in the third quarter. He finished with 16 points. Ochai Agbaji played great off the bench, drives in and rocks the rim. He added 18 points. Jazz were up 4 in the third. Then in the fourth, Kelly Olynyk gets it ahead to John Collins, the power slam. Put the Jazz up 6. He had 13 points. Kelly Olynyk with the 3. He had 25 points. That put the game away. The Jazz won it 119-111. The Pistons now lost 25 games in a row, 1 short of the NBA single-season record. In the NFL, the Saints and the Rams. Matthew Stafford to Puka Nacua. The Rams touchdown, the 5th touchdown reception of the season for the Rams rookie. Back came the Saints. Derek Carr to former Weber State star Rashid Shaheed. 45-yard touchdown tied the score at 7. But the Rams pulled ahead. Great catch here by Nacua. The former Orem and BYU star had 9 receptions for 164 yards of the Rams' 30-20 win. Sam Merrill has really come on strong for the Cleveland Cavaliers the last few games. He scored a career-high 19 points on Monday. Then the former Bountiful and Utah State star topped that last night with 27 points and a win over the Jazz.
Merrill, does he have another? Oh my goodness, Sam Merrill now has 5 first half threes.
I grew up in Utah, so I was a huge Jazz fan growing up, so to be able to have a game like that against them is even more special for sure.
Sam Merrill was a great high school player, leading Bountiful to a state championship.
Basketball.
Then he turned into a great college player, leading Utah State to back-to-back Mountain West championships.
Merrill for the lead. He's got it!
And now, after spending most of his first 3 seasons in the NBA on the bench, he's turning into a true NBA rotation player with the Cavaliers this season, highlighted by making 8 3-pointers against the Jazz last night.
Merrill for 3. He knocks it down.
We all work too hard to not enjoy moments like this, for sure. I've worked as hard as I could, and felt like there were times where maybe this wasn't going to work out. And to be honest, in high school, like, my goal was to play Division I basketball. The NBA was never even in my sights. Like, I just didn't think that was going to happen, because guys where I'm from usually don't. And obviously it's exciting to be able to get some more minutes and play well and do it all while we're also winning games. That's what you dream of doing as a kid. So just another good step forward.
This is what the NBA is about. It's about making dreams come true. And he's worked his tail off, and he's definitely making his dream come true.
Only 7 high school players from Utah have played 5 or more seasons in the NBA. Sam Merrill wants to join that list.
Sam Merrill.
I take that upon myself to represent my state and where I come from, and hopefully we can just keep grinding and maybe get there.
We'll be right back.
Today, people in Syracuse were entertained with a variety of Christmas carols. A group of Syracuse residents got to ride around on a float singing Christmas carols and bringing a little Christmas cheer to the neighborhood. Resident facility caring for the assisted living and memory care occupants was a special stop along the way. This year, Mr. and Mrs. Claus, Buddy the Elf, the Grinch, and some reindeer were seen delivering presents. How do you like that? We don't get to see parades at this time of year very often, but this was a good one. Yeah, we like it.
Grinch takes the prisons and Santa brings them back.
Well, his heart is 10 sizes too big now. QuickCast is up next.